They go on water just to make people smile. They go through the bush path just to make sure that communities are developed. They engage with governments and high key stakeholders just to make sure that they make people happy. Sometimes they get sick, kidnapped, even threatened. Yet they enhance the voices of the vulnerables, persons with disabilities, women, youth, boys, and girls. They take the message to the grassroots, but their voices are not heard. To hear and share the stories behind community development. I am Josiah, your anchor. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development. When you are on the field trying to affect lives, you go through a lot that people don't hear until you share your story. Voiceless Voices gives you that moment to share the stories. My name is Josiah Emilika, and I'm here with someone that has passed through a lot when it comes to delivering projects to communities. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development. Again, I love them introducing themselves, so I will want her to introduce herself to us. Welcome, Ma. Please let us meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Josiah. My name is Evelyn Williams. I happen to be the Executive Director of Lighthood Suko Worldwide Initiative, non-governmental organization,
Yeah.
and it's my pleasure to be here.
So people will just want to know, how long have you been in the community space, development space?
I think working in this space has really been my life.
Oh, wow.
Because let me see, the last formal job I had outside the space was actually working as a school administrator in a school like years back. And from there, I moved to working into the space as a volunteer.
Oh, wow.
And I have volunteered for so many organizations. And like in 2020, I also secured my volunteer, responsibility with code that's connected development. And from there, I now eventually became their state lead, the River State lead, and on their Follow the Money initiative, and saddled with a lot of responsibility when it comes to budget tracking, procurement tracking, and all of that.
Wow.
And that opportunity had, given me access on different projects, just being their state lead, and that's the journey so far.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot. I was meant to understand you've done a project sponsored by Oxfam.
Yeah.
But before we go into that,
Yeah.
let's go a bit of behind the scenes. That's why we are here, Voiceless Voices.
Yeah.
What are those things that you've been able to escape trying to make people happy doing this work in the community development space?
Quite some experiences. Like, I can remember in the year 2016, I was among observers that traveled to Edo State to observe the gubernatorial election. And I remember that particular day as we were trying to, see the movement of sensitive materials and all of those things. There were some sets of persons that came around, and we now had to. There were gunshots, like when you're in the field, and yeah, you hear the sound of gunshots, at the first thing that comes to your mind, you won't just like, where is this gunshot coming from? The first thing that comes to your mind is escape, taking cover. So uh, I found myself, falling flat, because that's
Wow.
what, they say the bullet strays and like goes like this. So if you go lower, then you escape the shots. And that was for that. And just of recent, I was supposed to carry out some consultancy, to Bayelsa
Mm-hmm.
on a peace initiative project for, I don't want to mention names
It's fine.
anyway.
Yeah, please.
So on my way to the work, I was involved in an accident. You understand? I had an accident, and even though I had the accident, since at the immediate, it was not looking like it was something serious.
Yeah.
I still had to say I'm set on this journey, and there are expectations. So I just traveled. I still embarked on the journey to ensure I deliver on my deliverables.
Yes, of course.
On that particular tax. It has not been easy, and sometimes, staying on water. You did
Yeah,
mention
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
traveling on water,
Water,
traveling
yeah.
by road, for about an hour plus, and now having to from there travel by water for an hour plus again,
Wow.
and just trying to empower community is really something, that if you don't have the mind, if
Mm.
you don't have the drive, the passion, I think you really wouldn't want to do that. But I think there's something about passion that pushes one to want to see that you bring about change, you affect people's life, um, positively.
Positively, yeah.
So that is how it has been. Sometimes it has been, traveling when it's raining, and
Mm, mm,
the road
mm,
is slippery
mm,
and all of
mm,
that, and you're
mm,
traveling hours,
mm,
and until you get to your destination and you're meeting the people. Sometimes you're there, the people are not there. You have to like wait, you have to like remobilize,
mm.
for them to come
To
out.
come out,
Yes,
yeah.
and I've actually had this other experience where, we've mobilized, we've done all everything necessary, like we've gotten refreshments and everything, and we've gone to community, and because the king of the community, had a conflict with his cabinet, then he was angry and he walked out, and we had to go back because the king is angry and he wouldn't attend to us. And so that day was
Whoa.
gone, and we just have to go back, maybe share the food item we came to community members, because we really wouldn't have to go back with it. So community.
And you still have to do the
Yes,
activity
yes,
again.
so we had to go back, we strategize, and appease the gods, like appease the king, and the king gives another date, and we now go back and continue the conversation or the advocacy. So
Oh boy,
is is
it's a
is
massive,
quite,
yeah,
yeah,
quite large.
yeah, it's quite
So
demanding.
how have you felt delivering Oxfam projects and the ones you have delivered? You can mention one or two if you wish, and just tell us something about it and how it has been.
Okay, on the Osman project, I was working on the Fair for All project,
Mm,
under connected development. I worked on their year one project, where we basically, engage students, and we, you know, strengthen their capacity on the need to, demand transparency and accountability
mm,
from their leaders, and for them to also be accountable. So, in doing this, we also were able to establish Integrity Club.
mm, mm.
We developed integrity club manual, civic club manual,
Okay.
where they can also use, to
Engage others.
Yes, and also on the project, there was the aspect of also, tracking government projects.
Okay.
So we're able to track government projects in the area of primary health care center,
Yeah.
and educational facility, and wash facilities. So what we did practically was to empower communities, to effectively engage their leaders. And so with this kind of empowerment, the organization did not push itself forward, but communities are empowered, especially community leadership are empowered to engage. So when they know advocacy strategy, they know what to do and how to go about it, they can on their own, engage the duty bearers.
True.
And so what we did also was actually to give them support. So when the needs that were identified as gaps in their community, we were able to give them support, in form of transport to come from their community. If the duty bearer was actually in town here, we're able to give them that support to go to the various agencies and meet with the decision makers and make their case known, so that they can actually seek redress. Sometimes we hold town hall meetings, and we now invite them to we now invite the decision makers to the town hall meetings, to be a part, so that they can actually hear and at the end of the day make commitment. So by so doing, we've had cases where issues that were laid before them were addressed.
Oh, wow.
Yes, like schools that were abandoned.
Can you give us one or two?
Yes, like schools that were abandoned in like we tracked the Bonny Grammar School.
Okay.
We tracked the Alisa High School.
High school.
Yes, and so we've seen that
Alisa, the one at Eleme,
yes,
Eleme local government.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So we've seen that because of much advocacy, because we did not just end at we did not just end at empowering communities.
Yeah.
We use traditional media. We even use social media to also, amplify these issues. So we actually bring them from the community to the radio station to actually talk about their issues and also place a demand, like a call to action.
So did something happen after the engagement in those two schools?
Yes, like the grammar school, the Bonny school was completed during Wike's administration.
Beautiful.
The Alisa school was also completed. The Alisa school now is high school is now completed, and advocacy engagement is not like when you're demanding we want this, it happens now. So it has been taken note of that this particular, because I remember one of the communities we took their CDC chairman to meet with, that's the universal
basic board. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we took the CDC chairman to the board chairman. We had an engagement, and there was a platform for them to speak, about what their need. And I remember the CDC mentioned, because we're tracking their health facility, and we're also tracking the school. The school was dilapidated. So what happened is the chairman, then I think one venerable fine face, I don't know the other part of his name. So he committed to attending to that. And yes, the outcome was that they actually renovated the school and they built some classrooms extra,
additional classrooms.
Yes, and they also did the toilets. They also renovated the toilets. So that was a good one. And in that same community too, they have a healthcare facility that the healthcare facility is like a cubicle. Like if you divide this room into two,
Mm.
one part is the healthcare facility, and they have health officials and all that. So like after the during the pandemic
Yeah.
and the flooding, during the
Yeah.
flooding, yes,
Mm-hmm.
during the flooding, a whole lot of things were destroyed. A whole lot of things were destroyed in the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because of that, community persons were actually unable to access good health, access to healthcare
Mm-hmm.
was, and, people were falling sick, and there was a threat to life and all of that. So we actually, continued our advocacy, and I think we used social media
Mm-hmm.
because we tried engaging the executive secretary of
Mm-hmm.
the primary health care board, and they were reluctant,
Yeah,
to
definitely.
attend to us.
Definitely. It
So
happens.
because the way we worked is that we worked with community champions.
Mm-hmm.
So on one of the visits to the community, I went along with one of my community champions. So we were able to, you know, we were able to take pictures of the facility, and we tweeted and we tagged primary health management board,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about it. So, but funny enough, people that didn't want to give us
Attention.
attention, I learned the community called me and told me that the executive secretary with some of his directors came to the community to
Mm-hmm.
inspect that healthcare
Wow.
facility.
Wow.
And so that
Wow.
was a good one. So you can see how social media can actually amplify. We did not abuse anybody, we did not insult anybody. We only stated the fact with pictures,
Mm.
and it actually drew the high and mighty to the site of that. And as we speak now, there is a standard hospital that is standing in that community now as we speak.
Beautiful.
The
Wow.
community is
Wow.
Odawu community in
Yeah.
Joint Krama 3.
Come again. I don't think people got that name. The community is what?
Odawu, com-
Odawo community.
Odawu community in Joint Krama 3 at Aoda West local government area
Wow.
of Rivers State. That was a
Wow.
big one.
Wow.
You
Wow.
understand? Even though it was not the doings of the state government completely, but our advocacy actually,
And it
uh,
was an initiative funded or supported by Oxfam
yes, it was an initiative supported by Osam
under connected development.
Connected Development
I,
Code.
I think we can go on and on and on and on and on to talk about this, but it's really refreshing that beyond the pains, beyond the moment of giving up, we can still affect lives. And I want to just say thank you for being with us and sharing this story. We hope to bring you back so you could give us more of these experiences. But when they say when something is good, you won't know when the time is over, and this is where we want to call it a wrap. But before we call it a wrap, I want to say just in 30 seconds, what have you learned in all of these processes?
I think selfless service is the key to positive impacts
Mm.
in what you do. You really don't have to look at the gains, because the gains would actually pay off over a period of time.
True.
Because in this practice, I've come to realize that where I put in so much, where I may have laid down my life, is not where I really got the best out of it. Because I believe that nature and divinity has a way of making you reap where you did not sow.
That's
That's
true.
what I want to
That's
say.
true. So selfless service
Yes.
and the profit will come sometime. Thank you so much. That's how we'll call it a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much, Mrs. Evelyn, for coming. And thank you for watching us. Please catch us in another beautiful episode. And I believe that you will be imparted. This is Voiceless Voices. I'm Josiah Emileka. Bye for now. They go on water just to make people smile. They go through the bush path just to make sure that communities are developed. They engage with governments and high key stakeholders just to make sure that they make people happy. Sometimes they get sick, kidnapped, even threatened. Yet they enhance the voices of the vulnerables, persons with disabilities, women, youth, boys, and girls. They take the message to the grassroots, but their voices are not heard. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. I am Josiah, your anchor. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development.